Imagine waking up tomorrow with more energy. Your mind feels clear, your body feels strong. You move without stiffness, you sleep deeply, you rarely get sick. And as the years pass, you continue to live not only longer, but better. Most people think this is a matter of luck. Some believe it depends on genetics. Others assume it requires expensive treatments, special supplements, or access to elite healthcare. But what if the biggest health secrets have been sitting in front of us all along? What if millions of people are searching for complicated answers while ignoring the simple habits that have been repeatedly proven to work? Over the past few decades, scientists, doctors, researchers, and authors have spent countless hours studying human health. They have traveled the world. They have examined entire populations. They have analyzed thousands of medical studies. They have followed patients for years. And despite approaching health from different angles, many of them arrived at remarkably similar conclusions. The lessons found in books like and others point toward a common truth. Health is not built in hospitals. Health is built in daily life. And the choices we make every day often matter more than we realize. The longevity mystery. For many years, researchers searched for the secret to long life. Was it genetics? Was it wealth? Was it access to modern medicine? Then something fascinating happened. Researchers began identifying communities where people consistently lived much longer than average. These places became known as the blue zones. The findings were surprising. Many of these people did not follow modern fitness programs. They were not obsessed with nutrition. They did not spend hours reading health blogs. Yet they frequently lived into their 90s and beyond. What made them different? The answer was not one magic ingredient. It was a collection of simple habits. They moved naturally throughout the day. They stayed socially connected. They maintained a sense of purpose. They ate mostly whole foods, and they avoided chronic stress. One remarkable example came from the island of Okinawa. Researchers discovered large numbers of healthy elderly residents who remained active and independent far longer than expected. Many worked in gardens, many walked daily, many participated in strong social circles. They weren't exercising because a fitness influencer told them to. Movement was simply part of life. Their lives demonstrated an important lesson. The human body was designed to move. The exercise revolution. For decades, many people viewed exercise primarily as a way to lose weight, but modern research has revealed something much bigger. Exercise affects nearly every system in the body. According to the ideas explored in and physical activity influences heart health, brain function, mood, energy levels, longevity, memory, disease prevention. Many people think of exercise as punishment, something unpleasant, something they must force themselves to do. But researchers increasingly see movement as medicine. One of the most interesting real-world examples involved school children. Researchers found that students who exercised regularly often performed better academically. Their concentration improved. Their mood improved. Their ability to learn improved. Movement wasn't just strengthening muscles. It was strengthening brains. This challenged a common assumption. Many people believe productivity comes from sitting longer. Yet evidence suggests strategic movement may actually enhance performance. A doctor's realization. Peter Attia spent years studying medicine and health. Like many physicians, he became highly skilled at treating disease. But over time, he noticed a problem. Most healthcare systems focus heavily on treating illness after it appears. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease. By the time these conditions are diagnosed, damage may already have occurred. He began advocating a different approach. Instead of waiting for disease, why not prevent it? Instead of reacting, why not prepare? This shift in thinking forms one of the central messages of modern longevity science. The healthiest future is often created decades before symptoms appear. Every walk, every workout, every healthy meal, every good night's sleep. These choices are investments. And over time, those investments compound. The nutrition puzzle. If exercise is one pillar of health, nutrition is another. Yet nutrition remains one of the most confusing subjects in the modern world. Every year, new diets emerge. One expert says eat more carbohydrates. Another says eat fewer. One recommends fasting. Another emphasizes meal timing. People become overwhelmed. But when researchers examine populations with exceptional health, certain patterns appear repeatedly. Many of these populations consume foods that are minimally processed, rich in plants, high in fiber, nutrient-dense. This does not necessarily mean everyone must eat exactly the same way, but it suggests that whole foods consistently outperform highly processed alternatives. One of the strongest themes is that diet influences disease risk far more than many people realize. The foods we eat become the building blocks of our bodies. Every cell, every tissue, every organ. Nutrition is not simply fuel, it is information. The China Study, one of the most ambitious nutrition projects ever conducted, became known as the China Study. Researchers examined dietary patterns across numerous regions. They compared populations with different eating habits and health outcomes. The findings sparked intense discussion throughout the nutrition world. While debates continue regarding interpretation, one important lesson emerged. Lifestyle patterns matter. Populations consuming diets centered around whole foods often experience different health outcomes than populations consuming highly processed diets. The study reinforced an idea supported by many other researchers. Health is rarely determined by a single meal. It is shaped by repeated patterns over years and decades. The story of transformation. Throughout health literature, certain stories appear again and again. A person reaches a crisis point. Perhaps they are overweight, perhaps they are exhausted, perhaps they receive a frightening diagnosis, and then something changes. They begin walking, they improve their nutrition, they become more active, they sleep better. Months later, their health markers improve. Years later, they have become almost unrecognizable. These stories are powerful because they reveal something important. The human body has an extraordinary capacity to adapt. Many people underestimate how much change is possible. They assume their current condition is permanent, but biology is dynamic. Small improvements repeated consistently can create remarkable results. The compound effect of health. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a week and underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. Health works much the same way. A healthy meal doesn't transform a life. One workout doesn't transform a life. One night of quality sleep doesn't transform a life. But thousands of healthy decisions accumulated over years can completely change the trajectory of a person's future. This idea appears repeatedly throughout all 10 books. The greatest health breakthroughs are often not breakthroughs at all. They are habits, repeated, consistent, sustained, day after day, year after year. The first big lesson. After examining populations, patients, studies, and real-life transformations, one message becomes clear. Health is not built through extreme actions. It is built through consistent actions. Move regularly, eat real food, stay connected to others, manage stress, take care of your body before disease appears. These principles sound simple, perhaps too simple, yet the most powerful truths often are. And this is only the beginning, because in the next part of our journey, we will discover something even more surprising. A factor that influences memory, mood, immunity, heart health, longevity, productivity, and even the risk of chronic disease. A factor so important that you cannot survive without it, and yet millions of people sacrifice it every single night. Sleep. End of part 1. Part 2, the hidden pillars of health: sleep, breathing, habits, and the power of daily rhythms. In part 1, we explored movement, nutrition, and longevity. We learned that health is rarely the result of a single decision. Instead, it emerges from countless choices made day after day. But there is another factor that may be even more overlooked, a factor that influences nearly every system in the human body, something we spend roughly 1/3 of our lives doing, and yet millions of people treat it as optional: sleep. For generations, many people viewed sleep as unproductive time. If someone slept less, they were often praised for working harder. Busy professionals bragged about surviving on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Students sacrificed sleep to study. Entrepreneurs sacrificed sleep to build businesses. The message seemed clear. Sleep was negotiable. Science tells a different story: the sleep revolution. One of the most influential books on the subject, Why We Sleep, presents a powerful argument. Sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is a biological necessity. The body can survive for weeks without food. It can survive for days without water. But prolonged sleep deprivation produces severe consequences. During sleep, the body performs essential maintenance. Memories are consolidated. Hormones are regulated. The immune system is strengthened. tissues are repaired. The brain clears waste products accumulated during the day. In many ways, sleep is the body's nightly restoration process. When that process is interrupted repeatedly, problems begin to emerge. The real-world evidence researchers have examined what happens when people consistently sleep too little. The results are remarkable. Reaction times slow, decision-making deteriorates, memory suffers, emotional stability declines, the risk of accidents increases, even physical health begins to deteriorate. One particularly interesting finding involves perception. Sleep-deprived individuals often believe they are functioning normally, yet objective testing shows otherwise. In other words, people frequently become too tired to recognize how tired they are. Imagine driving a car with a damaged engine while insisting everything is fine. That is often what chronic sleep deprivation looks like. The damage accumulates quietly. A modern epidemic. Today, technology follows us everywhere. Phones remain beside our beds. Notifications arrive around the clock. Entertainment is available endlessly. As a result, many people sleep less than previous generations. The consequences extend beyond fatigue. Researchers have linked chronic sleep deprivation with increased risks for numerous health problems. This does not mean one poor night's sleep will ruin your health. The concern lies in repeated deprivation over years. Once again, we encounter the same theme. Small habits become major outcomes when repeated long enough. The forgotten art of breathing. If sleep is underappreciated, breathing may be even more overlooked. Most people never think about it. Breathing happens automatically. Therefore, it seems unimportant. Yet the ideas explored in breath suggest otherwise. The way we breathe can influence stress levels, energy, focus, and overall well-being. Throughout history, many cultures developed breathing practices. For centuries, these techniques were often dismissed as folklore. Modern researchers began examining them more closely. They discovered something intriguing. Breathing patterns affect the nervous system. The self-experiment. One of the most fascinating stories in the book involves a breathing experiment. Participants spent time breathing primarily through their mouths. The effects appeared quickly. Energy levels declined, sleep quality worsened, physical discomfort increased. When normal nasal breathing resumed, many symptoms improved. The experiment highlighted an important lesson. The body functions best when basic biological processes operate as intended. Something as simple as breathing through the nose can influence health more than most people imagine. Stress, the invisible threat. Many people think of health only in terms of diet and exercise, but stress plays a major role as well. A short burst of stress can be useful. It helps us respond to challenges. The problem arises when stress becomes chronic, when the body remains in a constant state of alertness. Imagine driving a car while keeping the accelerator pressed all day. Eventually, the system wears down. Human biology works similarly. Long-term stress affects sleep, it affects digestion, it affects immunity, it affects relationships, it even affects decision-making. This is one reason practices like meditation, breathing exercises, walking, prayer, and reflection appear repeatedly in healthy populations around the world. They help interrupt the cycle of constant tension, the rhythm of life. Another fascinating insight comes from the circadian code. The human body operates according to biological rhythms. Every cell follows an internal clock. Hormones rise and fall. Body temperature changes, energy fluctuates, sleep cycles occur. These rhythms evolved over millions of years, yet modern lifestyles often conflict with them. Artificial light extends our days. Late-night eating confuses metabolic processes. Irregular schedules disrupt biological timing. Researchers discovered that when people align their habits more closely with natural rhythms, health often improves. The story of meal timing. For many years, nutrition discussions focused almost entirely on what people eat. Researchers began asking another question: when do people eat? This led to fascinating discoveries. People consuming the same foods sometimes experience different outcomes depending on meal timing. Late-night eating appeared particularly problematic for many individuals. The body handles nutrients differently at different times of day. This doesn't mean everyone must follow identical schedules, but it does suggest that timing matters more than previously believed. The body is not merely a machine processing calories. It is a living system operating according to biological rhythms. Tiny habits, massive consequences. As we examine these books together, a remarkable pattern emerges. None of them rely on miracle solutions. None promise instant transformation. Instead, they emphasize habits, simple actions repeated consistently. This idea appears strongly throughout health literature. People often search for dramatic changes. They want rapid results. Yet real transformation frequently begins with small steps. Walking 10 minutes daily, sleeping 30 minutes earlier, replacing one unhealthy snack, practicing 5 minutes of mindful breathing. These actions seem insignificant in isolation, but over years they accumulate. The power of consistency. Imagine two individuals. The first improves just 1% each day. The second makes no improvements at all. At first, the difference appears invisible. Weeks pass, months pass, the gap widens, years pass. The outcomes become dramatically different. Health often follows this pattern. The greatest danger is not a single unhealthy choice. The greatest danger is allowing unhealthy patterns to become permanent. Likewise, the greatest advantage is not perfection, it is consistency. What the healthiest people do differently. Researchers studying exceptionally healthy populations noticed several recurring behaviors. They move regularly, they sleep adequately, they maintain strong relationships, they spend time outdoors, they manage stress, they eat mostly whole foods, they maintain routines. None of these behaviors seem extraordinary. That is precisely the point. Extraordinary health often emerges from ordinary actions performed consistently. The secret is not complexity, the secret is repetition. A story about change. Consider a person who spends years neglecting health, poor sleep, minimal exercise, high stress, processed foods. Eventually the consequences appear. Weight gain, fatigue, poor concentration, health concerns. Many assume the solution must be equally dramatic, but countless success stories reveal something different. People improve gradually, one habit at a time. A daily walk, better breakfast, an earlier bedtime, a few minutes of exercise. Months later, they notice more energy. A year later, they notice major changes. 5 years later, they are living a completely different life. The transformation appears dramatic only because observers fail to see the thousands of small decisions that created it. The second big lesson, part 1, taught us that movement and nutrition form the foundation of health. Part 2 reveals that sleep, breathing, stress management, and biological rhythms are equally important. Health is not a single pillar. It is a structure supported by many pillars working together. Remove one pillar and the structure weakens. Strengthen all of them and the structure becomes remarkably resilient. Yet one final question remains. If these principles are so powerful, why do so many people ignore them? Why do some individuals successfully transform their lives while others remain trapped in unhealthy patterns? To answer that question, we must explore the psychology of behavior itself. Because in part 3, we will uncover the real stories of transformation, the science of lasting habits, and the ultimate message hidden within all 10 books. And that message may change the way you think about health forever. End of part 2. Part 3, the ultimate health lesson. Why some people transform their lives and others never do. Throughout this journey, we have explored the wisdom contained within 10 influential health books. We have learned about nutrition, we have learned about movement, we have learned about sleep, breathing, stress, and biological rhythms. But one final question remains. If the science is available, if the evidence is clear, if the benefits are obvious, why do so many people still struggle to become healthy? Why do some individuals completely transform their lives while others remain stuck for decades? The answer lies not in information. Most people already know what they should do. The challenge is behavior. The challenge is consistency. The challenge is turning knowledge into action. And this is where the deepest lesson of all 10 books begins to emerge, the information age paradox. Today, information is everywhere. A person can learn about nutrition in minutes. They can watch exercise videos instantly. They can read about sleep, stress management, and longevity. Knowledge has never been more accessible. Yet despite having more information than any generation in history, many people are becoming less healthy. This reveals an important truth. Information alone does not create transformation. Action does. A person can own 100 health books and still remain unhealthy. Another person can follow a handful of simple principles consistently and completely transform their life. The difference is not knowledge. The difference is implementation. The real story behind transformation. Health transformations often appear sudden. Someone loses weight, someone becomes energetic, someone reverses unhealthy habits. Observers see the final result. They do not see the years of effort that came before it. Imagine watching a tree grow. If you observe it every day, the change seems invisible. Yet after 10 years, the tree is enormous. Health improvements often work the same way. The progress is too small to notice day by day, but over years, the difference becomes extraordinary. This is why many people quit too early. They expect immediate rewards. When those rewards do not appear, they abandon the process. The individuals who succeed understand something important. Results are delayed. Actions come first. Rewards come later. The patient who changed everything. Doctors frequently tell stories about patients who reached a turning point. Perhaps they received a frightening diagnosis. Perhaps they experienced a health scare. Perhaps they simply became tired of feeling tired. Whatever the trigger, they made a decision. Not a decision to become perfect, a decision to start. At first, the changes were small. Walking around the block, replacing sugary drinks, sleeping a little earlier, preparing healthier meals. The improvements seemed insignificant, but they continued. Months passed, then years. Eventually, their lives looked completely different. The lesson is profound. Massive change often begins with tiny actions. The myth of motivation. One of the greatest misconceptions about health is the belief that successful people are always motivated. They are not. Everyone experiences days when they feel tired. Everyone experiences days when they feel discouraged. Everyone experiences days when they want to quit. The healthiest people are not those who never lose motivation. They are those who continue, even when motivation disappears. Motivation starts the journey. Habits sustain it. And habits are built through repetition. The body learns. The mind learns. Eventually, healthy actions become normal, not because they are easy, but because they are familiar. What the world's healthiest communities teach us. When researchers studied long-lived populations in the blue zones, they discovered something fascinating. Many of these people were not trying to become healthy. Their environments naturally encouraged healthy behavior. Healthy food was available. Walking was common. Social interaction was normal. Purpose was woven into daily life. Movement occurred naturally. This suggests a powerful lesson. Environment often shapes behavior. People frequently blame themselves for lacking discipline. Yet sometimes the environment is working against them. If unhealthy food surrounds you, choices become harder. If stress dominates your schedule, recovery becomes harder. If sleep is constantly interrupted, energy becomes harder to maintain. One of the smartest health strategies is not relying on willpower alone. It is creating environments that support healthy choices. The hidden power of relationships. Another lesson appears repeatedly across health research. Human beings are social creatures. Relationships influence health more than many people realize. Strong social connections are associated with better well-being. Supportive friendships reduce stress. Meaningful relationships improve emotional resilience. Communities provide encouragement during difficult times. In some Blue Zone communities, social bonds were among the strongest predictors of long life. This reminds us that health is not only physical. Health is emotional, mental, social, spiritual. A healthy life is rarely built in isolation. The four great diseases. One of the major themes explored in Outlive is the threat posed by what some researchers call the four horsemen: heart disease, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases, metabolic diseases. These conditions account for a tremendous amount of suffering around the world. Yet many risk factors are influenced by lifestyle. Not all disease can be prevented. Genetics matter, chance matters, life is complex, but lifestyle remains one of the most powerful tools available. Exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management. These habits may not guarantee perfect health, but they significantly improve the odds, and over time, improved odds matter enormously. The real meaning of longevity. Many people misunderstand longevity. They imagine it means simply living longer. But the authors of these books point towards something deeper. What good is a long life if those extra years are spent suffering? The real goal is not merely lifespan. The goal is health span. Years filled with vitality, years filled with independence, years filled with purpose, years in which the body and mind continue functioning well. 100 years of life means little if the final decades are dominated by illness. The true victory is extending quality of life, the combined wisdom of 10 books. After examining all 10 books together, their messages begin to merge into a single philosophy. The language differs, the authors differ, the research differs, but the core lessons remain remarkably consistent. Move your body regularly, eat mostly real food, prioritize sleep, manage stress, breathe properly, maintain meaningful relationships, respect your body's natural rhythms, focus on prevention, build habits gradually, remain consistent for years. These principles are not revolutionary. In fact, they are almost disappointingly simple. Yet simplicity should not be confused with weakness. The most powerful truths are often simple. Gravity is simple. The passage of time is simple. Compound interest is simple, and healthy habits are simple. Their power comes from repetition. A final story. Imagine two people standing side by side today. They appear nearly identical, similar age, similar health, similar circumstances. One person begins making small improvements, a daily walk, better sleep, more vegetables, less processed food, stress management. The other changes nothing. 1 year passes, the difference is small. 5 years pass, the difference becomes noticeable. 10 years pass, the difference becomes dramatic. 20 years pass. The two lives may look completely different, not because of one decision, because of thousands of decisions. This is how health is built, not in a single moment, but through daily choices accumulated over time. The ultimate message. If there is one message hidden within all 10 books, it is this. Your future health is being created today, not tomorrow, not next year. Today, every meal is a vote, every workout is a vote, every night of quality sleep is a vote. Every healthy habit is a vote for the person you are becoming. Perfection is unnecessary. Progress is essential. You do not need to change everything overnight. You only need to begin. One walk, one healthy meal, one good night's sleep, one small habit, then repeat and repeat again. Because the healthiest people are not those who make the biggest changes. They are the people who make the smallest positive choices consistently for the longest period of time. And that may be the most important health lesson of all. Thank you for joining this journey. If this documentary inspired you, remember that knowledge becomes valuable only when it is applied. Choose one lesson, practice it today, then return tomorrow and practice it again. Your future self is being built one decision at a time. Thank you for spending your time here. Stay healthy, stay curious, and keep investing in the most valuable asset you will ever own, your health.